counties, and confirmed tornado on the ground. But even areas outside of this center portion that, again, we're starting to see that hook, that wrap around and that signature under velocity, this center area, we also have hail outside of that, heavy rainfall and high winds outside of that. So anyone within this warned area does need to seek shelter. This is continuing to lift northeast. So looking towards Camp Douglas, Cutler, this is Highway 21. Folks need to seek shelter immediately, even with that hail threat and the high wind threat building in as well. The center of this, that hook, it looks like, Gary, if we can take a look at that velocity, it looks like it's already over the interstate for us right now. So things moving very, very fast. There it is for us. Our velocity there is a good indication of the rotation coming through. It looks like that's still right along the interstate for us. So Oakdale, south of Toma, just west of Camp Douglas, Cutler along the line next, north of Highway 21 in Juneau, and then in Adams counties. Folks need to get inside, try to get into an interior room away from any exterior walls. So arrival times here, Oakdale, as we look closer to 4:13. So moving fast, that's 2 minutes. Folks need to get inside and get into the basement or into that interior room. Necedah by 4:34, and then continuing northeast. So now we're purple.
This is ramping up here. Let's.
Yes.
So now this is a considerable tornado threat. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Toma, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. National Weather Service is saying this is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. So again, if you are in the area around Camp Douglas, Necedah, you need to take shelter immediately. This is one of those situations. Let's take a look and see if we can see anything on our debris track, because this would give us an indication if we are getting the possibility of debris being lofted here. And so let's just take a look here and see what that is showing, because it would be very interesting to see. So
just outside of Camp Douglas, Gary.
Yeah. So see that blue area there? Just to the north of I-90-94. That is an indication debris is being lofted in the air. This is a serious situation. You need to take shelter immediately. Anywhere around Camp Douglas, as far east as Necedah, get into a safe area immediately. That's anywhere east of I-90-94 through the western portion of Juneau County. You need to seek shelter immediately. If you are at home, we got our tornado safety rules here.
The center of the basement, absolutely best, Gary. If you can get away from those exterior walls and get as low as possible. If you don't have a basement, again, that interior room, a closet on the lowest level, and you want to make sure to try to cover yourself with pillows or cushions or blankets or even some sort of helmet, because this is a large and dangerous tornado. We have confirmation on the ground. We have that debris signature in the air, so you need to take every precaution possible. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of a mobile home right now and get to that exterior shelter that is brick or sturdy, and again, into an interior wall. And a vehicle right now, get out and get to a nearby sturdy building, something made out of brick, something strong. As a last resort, get into a ditch or buckle up and get down as low as possible. Public buildings, away from any of those exterior walls and away from any windows. And if you are in a large store right now, if you're watching us, I know we're streaming on a few different platforms. Quick Trip, Culver's, a small room with a walk-in refrigerator or freezer, that's going to be the safest place for you to be in right now. This tornado warning for Juneau and Adams counties now a considerable threat for us. An observed tornado just outside of Toma. The center of this right along I-90-94, right before the split. So this is just west of Camp Douglas. Things have really built in over the last hour. These signatures continue to confirm that we're dealing with a significant threat right now, on top of that confirmation on the ground. So our velocity gives us a good look at that rotation. That's what we're keeping a close eye on right now. Folks just northwest of that do need to seek shelter immediately. We also have hail and high winds along with this line of thunderstorms. So as this cell is building in, all that other area around it also dealing with the impacts from this. So a tornado warning from Juneau, Adams, and Monroe counties until 5 o'clock due to that observed tornado, a considerable threat right now for us, Gary.
Yeah, and we're just, again, this is the tornado debris signature. What we're looking for is on here, you can see all of these colors are relatively the same. That's an indication that what's bouncing back to the radio, the signal is bouncing back to the radar is kind of the same shape, usually raindrops. But notice this right in the middle, that blue. That once you start seeing these blue colors, the lower levels of what we call the correlation coefficient, that's an indication that debris is definitely being lifted in the air. So this is a very serious situation. That's why the National Weather Service has put out this upgrade to the tornado warning, basically to warn people that a large and extremely dangerous tornado is on the ground. And again, this is just to the northwest of Camp Douglas, and we'll be tracking through the probably the western and northern portions of Juneau County, and you can see the storm shear. That's an indication that the rotation is ramping up too. So the
you can see that.
Yeah, I mean it's getting stronger and stronger as time goes on.
It is that line there again with our shear track, showing the storm, tightening the storm, strengthening and growing. This is also a look at our hail indicator. The velocity signature is there. So for us in-house looking at the radar, the signature is there. And again, we do have that confirmation on the ground also for this threat. So we have a tornado warning still in effect.
And it looks like we have another tornado warning now coming out.
Travel further south, yes.
It's actually just outside of our viewing area. This is for the northeastern portion of Vernon County around Hillsborough, but Mauston, Elroy, you are immediately upstream from this, and this is because of a possible tornado near Hillsborough. So let's stop the radar here for a second and take a look at that. So, and this storm, you can see a hook echo here. You can see a hook pretty clear. So that's an indication right there, that rotation just to the between Lafarge and Hillsborough. That area there. So, Dana, you want to point that out there?
Yep, this is the area that we're watching right now. Again, just outside of our viewing area, but this is going to continue to move northeast. Gary's pulling up that gate-to-gate shear again so we can see the difference there, keeping a close eye on how that difference grows and if that rotation tightens and if the storm strengthens. But this is what we're watching, a tornado possible. So this latest tornado warning extending from Hillsborough and Mauston's right next on the list as far as anything coming in downstream. So this is what we're keeping an eye on, a second tornado warning for us right now, all along a line that includes a few severe thunderstorm warnings also for us currently. So this primary tornado warning for our area, Juneau, Adams, Monroe counties until 5 o'clock, a considerable tornado on the ground, an observed tornado on the ground with the signature. You could see that hook a little bit ago. We've also seen the signature on our velocity and our debris and seeing that rotation. So just north of I-90 right now, it looks like that northeast of Tomah, northwest of Camp Douglas. So Cutler next along Highway 21. Anyone in Necedah also needs to seek shelter immediately because we're also seeing high wind and hail along with the center of this. So looking at arrival times, Cutler, we're getting closer to about 4:27. Cloverdale 4:31, Necedah at 4:38. So things are moving very fast along this line. You folks need to get inside immediately. If you're streaming us right now and you're outside, I know it's the middle of June. A lot of folks trying to be out at the pool right now or enjoy camping. You need to seek shelter. It's not going to be enough just to try to get as low as possible. This is a considerable tornado, an observed tornado. It's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, that just is not looking good.
No, not at all.
Again, and it's just in the far eastern portions of Monroe County. But if we zoom in here, you can see this is right now. It's right along Highway 170 or Highway 21. So there's 21. There's Wyville. There's Cutler. If you are in Cutler, this storm is going to be in your area very, very shortly. So again, when you see rotation like this, this is something that gets your attention very, very quickly. We're looking at the winds on one side of the storm moving away from the radar at about 52 miles an hour. Winds on the other side of the storm moving toward the radar at 50. So you have about 120 miles per hour of rotation, basically, just to the south of Wyville with that storm. So again, this is not to be trifled with. There has been a confirmed tornado on the ground, and the other thing that we're seeing is the debris signature, and that is this area right there, and we're still seeing the debris that's right along Highway 21. So that's a very, very good indication that we do have a debris being lofted into the air. So again, this is something that if you are in that area, you need to seek shelter immediately.
And this debris signature, again, Gary, you talked about this earlier, all the purple, that's a good indication of moisture raindrops in the atmosphere. That's the color that maybe doesn't mean that there are other things being lifted up, but when we see this bright dot up in the atmosphere, we see the blues and the yellows coming through, that's an indication that debris is being lifted into the atmosphere. The radar is picking that up, and that's more confirmation that we have a tornado on the ground. This tornado warning, a very dangerous situation. We have confirmation on the ground and the signatures coming through. This is the area we're concerned about. We also have hail spots popping up. So while we're keeping a close eye on that tight rotation just outside of Camp Douglas and outside of Cutler right now, we're also keeping an eye on other areas that are dealing with heavy rainfall, high winds and hail. I believe I just saw a tornado warning pop up to the north also, Gary. That might be outside of our viewing area though.
Yeah,
that's far to the north.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we do have that other tornado warning,
yes,
again, just outside of our viewing area for far northeastern portions of Vernon County. But that storm, as it holds together, will be moving toward Elroy and Boston, which is in Juneau County. If you are in Elroy or Boston, I would take shelter immediately. Looking at this storm, this is also not a very good situation. If we look at the wind velocity here, again, that is just to the west of Hillsborough. That's this area right here. So here's the rotation, and that is tracking right toward Elroy. So I would not be surprised to see a tornado warning come out very quickly for the southern portion of Juneau County and maybe even for parts of Sauk County as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that because that Sauk County is handled under the National Weather Service office out of Sullivan, and they are just mentioning that they are watching those cells very, very closely because they will possibly be moving into the northwestern portions of Sauk County, but definitely southern Juneau County around Elroy. You need to seek shelter immediately because this storm is basically heading right in your direction, and you can see that hook echo right here. This is the tornado warning area. That warning in effect for northeastern portions of Crawford County. That is until 4:45. But again, these storms are moving at about 50 miles an hour. So Elroy, this storm will be in your area very quickly. If we do a quick storm track on that, you'll see that in Elroy, get a quick idea here on the arrival time, but this is moving in your direction, and even at 40 miles an hour, that puts the storm in your area in about maybe 15 minutes. So again, if you are in Elroy, I would go to a safe place immediately.
In 15 minutes, just saying that out loud might sound like a lot of time, but these storms are moving very quickly, Gary.
Right.
So it's important to drive home that if you are within the warned area or just downstream, you do need to seek shelter and get to your basement. 10, 15 minutes is really not a lot of time when it comes to getting to a safe place. This tornado warning that we're still keeping an eye on in Monroe, Juneau, and Adams County, this is our northernmost tornado warning. Right now goes until 5 o'clock. The center of this that we've been keeping a close eye on, coast to Cutler and Camp Douglas, that has been the best indication for tight rotation. We've also seen that debris signature coming through. We've had considerable impact or considerable alignment there with our radar scans, but also an observed source on the ground. Outside of that rotation, we also have seen our hail signature come through. So there it is yet again, that debris signature. When we're seeing yellows and blues, that means that debris is being lifted up into the atmosphere. The purple around that scatter is all moisture and raindrops. When we see purple, that's normal things in the sky. But when we have blues and greens popping up and yellows, that's when we get concerned because that's when we have other things being lifted up for us right now. Just west of Cutler, so this is the area that we're continuing to keep an eye on. So you can see the travel path here. Just about 15 minutes ago, we were talking just south of Toma. This rotation and that debris signature now has lasted all the way up close to Cutler. Looking at the timing and the track for this, continuing to move northeast over the next several hours. Notice we have several natural areas and parks included in this. I know it's the middle of June. I know a lot of folks trying to get outside and enjoy being outdoors. Some people may have had this alert pop up on their phone because we're streaming on several different sources right now. If you are getting this alert and you've watched this on Facebook, you need to seek shelter right now. If you're getting this in a car or you're out at a park right now, you need to get to that innermost rim because this is still that rotation signature for us just west of Cutler, looking at our velocity.
Yeah, Dana,
Again,
I would say anywhere north of Highway 21 and west of Highway 80, you need to be in a safe shelter right now.
Yep.
And if you're